The situation in Egypt has been quite volatile in recent times, and there's a growing concern here in Israel regarding the terrorism developing in Egypt's Sinai Peninsula, the territory adjacent to Israel's southern border and the Negev. This past week, terrorists launched rockets towards the southern Israeli city of Eilat. However, the IDF's Iron Dome system intercepted the attack. Tell me about the current situation in Egypt Sinai.
What happens in Sinai didn't start from the past few days, of course. It's a mess that have been taking place for almost 3 years, since the days of the first Egyptian revolution, 2011, till now. But it deteriorated from the days Mohammed Morsi was toppled down. Sinai is actually a no man's land. There is no control, neither of the Egyptian authorities, nor by the Bedouin tribes as well. So what is taking place now in Sinai is that the jihadist organization, whatever they are controlling the Sinai Peninsula according to their own interest. They are taking advantage of the mess inside Egypt, and they intend to turn it into an overall, let's say, fight between the Palestinians and the Egyptians, and maybe turn this fight into an overall clash of civilization between East and West, including the Americans, including Israel.
Now, where does Israel come into play?
If Egypt decides that she needs the cooperation of Israel, and she calls Israel to take part with the anti-jihadist organization, Israel should cooperate. And if not, Egypt should do it alone. What I can say for sure, that controlling Sinai is both an Israeli and an Egyptian interest, no doubt about that.
Rumors have it that Israel recently targeted a terrorist cell in Sinai. Do you believe that it is Israel's right to defend itself from such terrorism?
I cannot reassure, I cannot deny whether Israel took part in it, but what I can say for sure is that I fully agree with what our defense minister said, Mr. Bogi Ya'alon, that Israel fully respects the full autonomy and sovereignty of Egypt to decide what she needs to do in Sinai. If Egypt wants Israel to take part, she will call us to cooperate. If not, she will do it all by herself. We have no right to interfere without Egypt calling us to do so.
And can Egypt handle terrorism on its own?
What I can say for sure that we are dealing with the military, and the military knows the Sinai Peninsula quite well for years. But the mess today in Sinai is so big and so complicated that maybe Egypt needs help. I don't know if the Israeli help is the help that Egypt needs, but as long as the military and the Egyptian army doesn't solve the internal mess in Cairo between the Islamists and the military, it won't find any solution for the mess inside the Sinai.
Egyptian officials denied allegations of any Israeli strike inside Egyptian territory. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has stated that Israel's concern is about peace being preserved and terror prevented. For JN1, I'm Sivan, Raviv, Israel.